And joining me right now here on the Mark Moses Show for our weekend fishing report is my main man, Damon, with spacefish.com. Damon, how you doing today?
What is up, my brother? Living the dream, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. I know it's a Friday. We're getting ready for the weekend, first weekend in May. All right,
Yeah.
should we go to the fishing report? Should we start there, buddy?
Let's start there. Let's dive in. Talk a little fishing.
Okay, the
So,
floor is yours, buddy.
thank you, man. Thank you. So, I was cautiously optimistic that with the weather report at the beginning of the week when I was writing the weekly weather report that Sunday was going to actually be a pretty good be a weather window. It looked like the wind was going to be lower on Sunday, and hopefully we'd be able to get offshore. It's just been kind of windy all week. Couple little breaks for where people could get offshore, but it's just been tough most of the week. Unfortunately, it looks like that's probably not going to happen. It's definitely too rough for my taste, I'll tell you that. But it looks like it's going to be pretty bumpy out there. So unless you have a big boat, I think offshore is going to be really tough for a lot of people. So, but the folks that have gone offshore, what I have to say is May 1st opened up grouper season, gag grouper season, Mark. And man, it's exciting. There's been some people that have already hit it, gotten some big fish, and that's going to continue until they close it, which I think is mid-June now. They actually shortened our season way up with catch shears. I won't go into all that, but anyway, so May 1st is grouper season. Keep an eye on these weather windows. We post them every week on Spacefish. I'm like, hey, I think this is going to be the day. Of course, that can change by the time we get to the end of the week, like it did this week. Weather just changes. But grouper is wide open right now, man. And people were catching a lot of them before May 1st, just even chicken rigging down on the reefs and fishing for other things. So I have a sneaky suspicion that the population is pretty good. So we should start seeing some really good grouper come in. Also, out on the reefs, man, 8A and Pelican reefs, the kingfish bite has been absolutely outstanding, particularly on Pelican. It's been a little bit better, I think. And we have some really good pictures we'll go to here in a little bit on that. And there were a few dolphin being caught too. So that was really cool to see. Nothing in great numbers, but people are going out there that are trolling for kingfish and pushing out a little further past that. They're getting a 1 or 2 or 3 dolphin doing that too. So man, if you can put a few kingfish in the boat and put a few dolphin in the boat, that's a good day offshore. You got some meat in the box and things are good. So, and I'll mention the next weather window in the next Space Fish report. It looks like it's going to be next week sometime. So our near shore band, so with these southeast winds, Port Canaveral and Sebastian, they were just a little slower overall this week because the water was muddy. But what I have to say is we're seeing a lot of bait showing up, a lot more than there has been, which that always produces action, right? So keep an eye on that. The snook bite up at Port Canaveral, which was really, really good the past few weeks, like I said, it slowed down, but it kind of transitioned from more of an early morning bite. So what I'm hearing is more of like a midday bite, like that noon, 1 o'clock. So just food for thought. Anybody that wants to get some live bait, if you can catch some pinfish or croakers, or even hit the bait and tackle shop and get a handful of those big select shrimp. They love those. That's a great place to target. And because we're seeing more bait, man, it's almost tarpon. They're already catching tarpon in the river, and I'll touch on that in just a bit. But we're going to start seeing some real nice tarpon here moving up and down our beaches, which is exciting.
We'll go back to the main screen here to see his beautiful face. Yes, he is Damon with spacefish.com. Yeah, that's offshore and near shores. We're going over the weekend fishing report. So now we got to go next on the list for Damon to break it down for everyone watching and listening right now. I know you got to bring up the surf here. What do you got going on, buddy?
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is surf. I love all kinds of fishing. You know that, Mark. I talk all about it. But just where we live, the salinity level is one of the highest in Florida from off our coast for whatever reason. And people say that's part of why Kennedy Space Center was built here. They always say the storms don't hit here, knock on wood, right? But we just have a great surf fishery pretty much year round for anything you want to do. The weeds right now are tough. These east winds have a bunch of weed blown up on the beach. Some people did get some whiting this week. I did see a few pompano caught, but you really had to work for them. Fighting those weeds and going everything. But one bright spot is snook. So the snook, these fish are getting ready to spawn, so they're going to start stacking up on the beaches. And we've actually had some really good reports of people catching some snook, which is exciting to see. And those are great fish to catch off the beach. Let them go, get back out there so they can do their thing and make more snook for future generations. But it's a great fishery. And as we move into summer, it's just going to continue to get better. So in our lagoons, I'm going to stay on snook, man. There are plenty of big snook in the lagoons. They're around those deeper shorelines, around the mangroves, and they're feeding heavy right now. So they're in go mode when it comes to eating because they're beefing up to move offshore to spawn, like we talked about along the beaches and stuff like that. So it's a great time if you're in the river, just cruise till you find some bait working around mangroves, and chances are that's where you're going to find those fish. And they'll bite on anything. Live bait is typically always best, but they'll bite on all kinds of stuff, artificial baits, so on and so forth. So the snook bite, and I have to mention, we did see a report this week, the last couple of days, that there's some really nice tarpon showing up in the lagoon as well. Again, live bait is typically the best for those, so it's exciting to see this time of year is really heating up. And last but not least, man, for our freshwater fishery, Captain Kenny Haas, he's unbelievable. He charters that lake almost exclusively, and he's like, the live bait, live shiners it's almost like cheating when you go out there with live shiners. And his clients this past week he's had several different clients that have caught their personal best fish, their biggest fish, which these are bass that are all over 5 pounds, some of them pushing 8 to 9, 10 pounds. These are just trophy fish. Man, going into this weekend, there's a lot of stuff to fish for just throughout the Space Coast. I would say offshore is going to be tough. The surf's probably going to be a little tough, so you want to focus on those interior bodies of water. But, man, there's plenty of stuff to fish for. So you know what I'm going to say, Mark. Get out there, make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, we're here with Damon with spacefish.com. You got to go to the website, check out everything going on fishing here on the Space Coast. And don't worry, we do, like Damon says all the time, we got people from all over the state of Florida checking this out because I know we got great fishing here. All right, let's go to, okay, I'm going to go to the first photo. And I love this is, we need to just get this part sponsored, just the photos of the week with Damon. All right, let's bring up this first one. All right, who's this fine gentleman? What's going on?
This young man. So this is Captain Glenn Austin. This is one of his clients. Look at the smile on this kid. It's unbelievable, man. He caught a slot, what is considered a slot snook fishing in the lagoon down around Sebastian, targeting these spoil islands and some of the mangroves and stuff like that. And that's just, look, I mean, the picture speaks for itself. I mean, look at the smile on his face. But that's what I mean when I talk about the snook bite is these fish are feeding really well right now. That's just a great example.
That fish is maybe 3 times as big as my cat. All right. That thing is big. Okay. That's a great photo. Here's the next one here with Damon with Space Fish. Oh, I love flexing the guns in the background.
Flexing the guns. That's Nick, man. He's Cocoa Beach Fishing Center. Excuse me. It's not dive anymore. But yeah, so this is a young man. So when I talk about snook fishing off the beach, this was their photo this week, and that's where this young man caught this fish, was targeted off the beach. So, just amazing when you can catch a snook, bring it home for dinner. Now, the season closes here. I think it closes soon. So, but nonetheless, man, snook fishing all summer long, even though if you can't keep them, you can catch them. They're a blast to catch, and just make sure they get back in the water. But this fellow was able to bring this slot fish home for dinner.
Yeah, that's a great photo. Let's go to the next one here. And we got a lot of them. Damon brings the thunder. Wow. What is that?
So when I talk about tarpon showing up along the beach, this is what we're talking about. So actually, that's my son, my oldest son. This picture was from last year, but I wanted to show it anyway. This is what you can expect. And these fish show up along the beaches, and they're following these bait schools. And a lot of times what you can do if you're cruising up and down the beach, you're trying to figure out, you don't see them rolling, you're not seeing a lot of activity. Look for the birds. Pelicans will really help you dial in. If they're diving for bait, well, then there you go. That's a great way to be like, okay, well, let's kind of set up shop and try here, and then just kind of work out from there. But that's a tarpon that we caught. And believe it or not, that was actually the smallest fish that we caught that day. We caught some that were well into 100 pounds, which were on, after you catch 2 of those, your arms are like jelly. You're like, all right, I'm good. I don't think I need any more of these. But people wait their whole life to come down here and catch one of these. This is a trophy game fish. They call them Silver Kings, and you can get them all over the different coast of Florida and the Keys and stuff like that. But we have an incredible snook fishery here along our beaches and throughout our lagoons.
You just wanted to bring it up that your son is manlier than me. That right there. Okay, let's go to the next one. All right. We got a whole group of people. What's this, Damon?
Oh my gosh! So this is Captain Joe with Fired Up Charters. So this was actually at the beginning of the week, and he went out there and just put on we were like, holy smokers, because those are big kingfish. We call those smoker kingfish. They're just because when they hit the reel, that first run, it's exactly what they'll do. They'll smoke that reel, man. And just look at the size of all those fish and how many he caught. The kingfish bite on the reefs is going. And what's cool is when the fish are here like that, there's all kinds of other stuff that are going to be out there because the water temps are right, the conditions are right. And it's just, it's just really, really good. So that was just a epic day for this group that went out there and fished with Captain Joe.
Okay, we got one more. I know it's a nice lady. She's very happy. What is this?
Yes. And so when I talk about Captain Kenny and the Headwaters Lake and all that stuff, because it was built and created to be a bass fishing mecca, and it is truly living up to every bit of that, which is amazing. This is one of his clients for the week that caught her. That's her biggest bass she's ever caught. So that's her personal best. So these are the types of fish that they're catching, and that's a trophy bass, man. That's a trophy fish. People wait their whole life to catch a bass that big and measure it and then end up getting a mount made that they can put that up on their wall. So just a great fish. And again, the smile is just unbelievable.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I thought you were going to say, oh, yeah, this is my daughter, and she's also better than you, Mark. As I thought you were going to say. All right, those are great photos. And Damon, if they want to submit a photo to be featured, how can they do that, Damon?
Yeah, man, spacefish.com. We have a tab at the top that says caught on camera. You just click on that tab, upload your picture, put a caption in there, tell a little bit about your story, how you caught it, where you caught it, what you caught it on, all that good stuff. If you want to share that information or not, and then hit go, and you'll be on the website, man. It's that simple.
Awesome stuff. We'd love to feature you every week here on the Fish Report with Damon with Space Fish. All right, before I let you go, buddy, should we go fishing this weekend?
Yeah, man. Even though it's going to be a little breezy, plenty of stuff to fish for, Mark. So get out there and fish. Absolutely.
Great stuff, Damon. Thanks for your help and have a great day.
You too, buddy.